people? How y'all doing, people? What's going on, family? How y'all doing today? Just checking on everybody, making sure everybody's where they need to be. Make sure my lives are where they need to be, and everybody what they need to do. Yeah, make sure y'all. Wow, that was loud. That was loud. Yeah, that was loud. Good morning, hi guys. My name is William Dallas. This is the Higher Stance Chronicles, where we teach you how to restore the spirit of your mind. So, we're here. We get started in about 2 minutes. Yeah, and then we got this thing going all off. This thing going crazy. When you come in, just say hi. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that you are watching, and that what we're going to talk about today will help you to get to your next level. I appreciate everybody for coming out, because you could be someplace else doing something else. These are the last days of us being on Instagram, and people are calling me already. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, people are calling me already. I'm on live. Get on live. Stop. I'm on live. Come on live. Be with me on live. They are already calling me, talking to me, wondering what's going on. And so we are going to do this, and we are live. So today I was kind of going through something, and not going through something. I was dealing with some friends of mine, and when we were talking about how to get to the next level. And I want you to understand something. Most of you are already at the level you need to be. The key that happens with that level is understanding how to maintain the, okay, let me say this. There we go. How to maintain the position that takes place. Yeah, because I realized something in my life. If you looked at that, something changed us from the point of being these amazing people and enjoying all this wonderful stuff. Let's see what I got back here. Yeah. We have 31%. Let's see if we can make it work. Something changed us from being these amazing people to this amazing stuff, and put us in a position where we are now basically trying to live our lives at a point where things are normal. We're trying to start get some type of normalcy, and I understand that, because I'm with it too. I want to be normal. I want things to happen normal in my life. I want people to be normal around me. But here's what took place. From the point that we had these wonderful dreams, these wonderful visions, we did these wonderful things, till now, we have gone through a lot of transition. And in those types of transitions, we've learned a lot of stuff that some stuff was beneficial to us, some stuff was not, and in those processes we kind of went left to right. So fear came in, disappointment came in. Let me get these things over here. Yeah, is that better, guys? Now I'm on YouTube. I am on YouTube, and I'm doing this. These are the last days I'm gonna do the Instagram and the YouTube, because it becomes a little bit taxing. So what happens is, when you get to these points in your lives, you go, okay, I remember when I wanted to do this. I wanted to be married. I didn't want to be married. I had all these different things that were happening in my life, and I wanted all these wonderful things to be in my life. And unfortunately, what happened is, I decided somewhere, which we thought was our decision, that I didn't want to do these things anymore. I didn't want to do them. I didn't want to be this anymore. But here's what I want to know. What changed you? What changed you from the point of yeah, my little thing is up here. What changed you from the point of actually wanting to do these things and being a part of this stuff, and what changed you into this person that you are right now? I have some stuff here I want to show you guys. Yeah, what changed you into the person that you are right now? Yeah, I'm gonna do this like this, guys, because it's not gonna work like I wanted to. Yeah, what changed you into that person? What made you the person that you are right now? It's a question. It's a question. We're already getting started. What tragic moment, what serious moment, what moment changed you into the person that you are right now? And if that situation changed you, why did it change you? Why did it make you what you are right now? Why did it put you in a position where you are now wondering if I can make it to this next level, if I can be this person or this thing or this situation? What was the thing that changed you? Now, some of you saw this. This is what you probably saw on the live thing. It says traditions, trials, and transitions. Traditions, trials, and transition. Now, most of these things that you're looking at, they are what changed us. So let's talk about this thing. A couple things that happen in our lives. Let's start with traditions. When you're a child, you're raised in the traditions of that family. You're raised according to what we say is the right thing, we say is the wrong thing. We're raised in these areas. We're taught to live like this. We're taught to act like this. We're taught to be like this. And so we take those things, we take them into heart. When as it begins to transition, as things begin to transition, you begin to try to do your own thing. That's the first time you try to get a cookie, all those types of things, and there's hope behind that. Now, those of you that went to church and started going to church, you were taught that God was the way. He's the truth. He's the light. And so you went after this whole thing. You thought that this spiritual thing, this God thing would change my life because it would make me a good person, because we sold church as the place where God hung out. That went past. But then you went through high school, you went through school, you went through elementary school, high school, junior college, graduated, and all these kind of things, and you get to this place right here, and you go, I want to be something different. Something in those three things changed. Whether it's the fact that you were tired of struggling, because some people get into their life and they struggle, then they come out of their life and realize that the struggle was the fact I didn't want to be where I was. That's the struggle. And so what happened is a lot of us go through the mindset. Yeah, a lot of us go through the mindset. This is so crazy. A lot of us go through the mindset of, how do I get to this next level? What do I do for this next level? We go through this thing. I'm this great person. I'm this amazing person. I'm this wonderful person. And what do I do to get my mind right? What do I do to get my head right? So let's talk about it. First of all, we got to get to the point where you want to be. How many of us want to be wealthy? We want to be wealthy. Getting money. First of all, I'm going to share something with you. This is probably a little bit different than what I normally would talk about. Let me get down a little bit lower here. Yeah. First of all, let's talk about this. Money is not a bad thing. There are several different ways in this world that you can get money. There's several different things you can do when it comes to money. There's several situations that can happen when it comes to money. But one thing you have to do is realize that money is not earned. Money is attracted. Money is not earned, money is attracted. Now, if money was always earned, every type of money you got would be from something you did. Every single thing every dime you got will be something you did. There are times that people want you to do things and they give you money, or there are times when you've put money away and you've gotten money. Money is not earned, it's attracted. And we're going to talk about that on tomorrow. Money is attracted, but how do you attract it? So you attract it in a lot of different ways, but how do you attract the life that you want? How do you make that happen? I'm glad you asked. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, and like I said, for those of you that are on YouTube, I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, and while we were talking, she was talking about leadership, and she was talking about the religion that she's a part of, or the organization that she's part of. Every place that you go is a point of education. Everything is educating you. It's either educating you how to do it or how not to do it. The challenge will happen to things that tell you how to do it. You have to become more detailed because you need to know the foundation of why it's happening. The things are showing you how not to do it. You don't have to get that detail. Just simply know that I'm not going to go down that road to do this thing. So when you get to these points of ready to move to the next level, let's say you want to start a business or you want to start wealth, all these options are outside to you. Right now, some of the best ways to make money is through cryptocurrency, through stocks, and through Forex. Those are major ways to make money. The number one way to make money in the entire world is information. The more you know information, the more you can share information, the more you can monetize information. What's happening in the future, which is what I'm trying to get some of my people to know, what's about to happen is we're about to get back into the ability to gather together, which means the popularity of what you're doing will now transition social media into going into regular media, which means news outlets and television and all those kind of things. But the gathering together of those people, that in turn puts you in a position where you can make money. I watch these things happen, and so I'm watching in all these areas. What are you learning? Are you learning? What was the tradition that stops you? I have my wife believes that every hour, every moment you should be in the shower. She believes in being very clean. She cleans the entire house. Matter of fact, I think today is the day. On Wednesday, she cleans the entire house from head to toe. She shines everything. So that's her belief. My wife doesn't believe in sitting on the bed with your street clothes on. I don't believe in eating in the bed. There are all these traditions and all these things you learn. Now, how we learn these things is we learn them because we believe these are the things that make our lives better or make our lives consistent. So where did you stop? There's not a person that is listening to me or that will watch me that will think, man, I no longer want to make money. I want to struggle. I want to make sure that I have I'm paying bills. I'm struggling at work. I'm making sure the people that don't like me at work and all these kind of things. Nobody said that. But somewhere in your process, you begin to believe that you're not worthy, which is where I was going. You begin to believe that you were not worthy. And when you begin to believe that you were not worthy, at that point, you put yourself in a position where your worthiness is questioned or your worthiness is defined by what someone said to you or said about you. Someone said something to you, and when they said it to you, that is where you've determined your worthiness to be. So you believe that you are not worthy because they said you're not worthy. You're not worthy because they told you that this is not the way you're supposed to be. They said you're not worthy because what happens to you is not what's supposed to happen to you. You ever heard you're too pretty? Oops, I messed it up. You're too pretty to be this. You're too pretty to be doing this. You're too pretty to do this. So that's why I said these things here. Traditions, trials, and transitions. These are the main things that change you. The traditions. Some of you believe that when your hand itches, you're going to get money. So you base your movement on the hands itching. Now what that does, it ignites your spirit. When something causes you to hear or feel or see something, that ignites your spirit and moves you forward. So when your hand itches, your mind goes, money is going to come in my direction. So you start expecting money. Okay? Money happens. And that tradition, when that money happens, you go, wow, at my hand itch, it was never your hand itching that made the money come. Your hand itching was not a warning to your money come. Your hand itching could have been the fact that your hand was dirty. It could have been the fact that it could have been anything. But you took that as a traditional way because somebody taught you that. You didn't learn that. Somebody taught you that when your hand itches, money is going to come, especially in certain cultures. So your hand itches, money is going to come. But in the opposite side, when your hand doesn't itch, you feel like money is not going to come. But I need you to understand something. That belief system and that expectation system is what caused that money to come to you. That's what caused that to come to you. So now, if you can harness that thing and you can now cause money to be attracted to you on a different level. If you can harness that thing, I don't mean make your hand itch, figure out what happens when that hand itches. What mindset do you go through? What thought processes do you go through? And then that way you now have money attracting. You've now created an attraction for money. Got it. That's traditions. So what you're doing is you're building traditions of wealth. You're not building traditions just to have traditions. You're building traditions of wealth. What is a tradition of wealth in your life? What do you have in your life? Number one, I told you about prayer and meditation. Are you praying and are you meditating? Your prayer should be, your meditation should be speaking to yourself. Now, how do you speak to yourself? When we do our spiritual retreat, I get into this a little bit more in detail. How you speak to yourself in the direction that you want to move. You speak to yourself in the direction that you want to move. And there are a couple of ingredients. There's a mental thing that you do, there's a spiritual thing, and then there's a physical thing that you do. And I can't get into that. I don't have the time to get into that. So when you do that, like the sign said, when you do that, you then ignite something. The more you do it, the more you are unconsciously going to do it. So that's your meditation. Now, your prayer is not praying to the deity, not praying to God, praying the path of giving God freedom in your life. You got it? Example. In the mornings, I don't pray, Father, I need a house, I need a car, I need this. Now, there are times when you do pray. Why? Because these prayers ignite the next level of where you're going. But when I get up, I go, okay, here's what happens. I get up and I go, okay, today, Dallas, you got to make sure that you fulfill all the things that you need to do. So make sure you stick with your guns and stick with your situation and stick with all these types of things, because these things are necessary to move you to the next level. Then I go, Father, God, Spirit of me, guide me on the path that best benefits my destination. Guide me on the path that best benefits my destination. Now, like I said, there's a lot more to it than me just saying that. There's an operation, there's a confirmation, there's a movement. All these things happen. Why? Because I am trying to draw the life that I desire to me. See, what I had to realize is when I built this thing, and I built this thing from the obedience to what I watched happen in my life. So I built this tradition. My tradition became meditating prayer every day, 20 years. Meditate and pray every day. I look at people now and I'm going, and I'm very, very concerned about people like, why doesn't such and such have what they need? Or why isn't such and such getting what they need? And I begin to concern myself with how do I help them to get to their point. I have a friend of mine right now, his wife is sick and she stays sick. And I'm going, what can I do to help them get beyond that thing? How do I help them move? I can teach you, but I can't make you drink the water. Speaking of which, I need to drink some water now. I can't make you drink it. So, I need you to ask yourself this. For those of you that are watching on Instagram, I'm on YouTube right now. The link is right there. youtube.com/higher talk. Let me take a slight thing. Subscribe to this channel so that we can make sure that you get all the information. You can go and listen to these things over. Hit the little bell, and the little bell will let you know whenever we're on, because right now I'm doing something consistently on this, but I'm going to start working on a teaching called the 3 principles of attracting wealth. 3 principles attracting wealth. You should never be in a position where you cannot attract at least $1,000. At least $1,000. You should never be in a position where you should not be able to access those things that you want to access. And let me tell you, here's the funny thing. So we go on a trip, and I'm gonna get back to this tradition. We go on a trip because this is all a part of the tradition that you have to do. You have to have spiritual traditions. And spiritual traditions are not the fact of traditions. Spiritual traditions are a little bit more different. So let's look at that. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at traditions. Traditions. Okay? So when you look at traditions, you're not looking at just the fact of creating something that, tradition. You're not just looking at something that you pass down from generation to generation. You're creating a habit, and within that habit, I'm going to look through this thing right now. Let's see about it. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's see what we can do this right here. Let's do this right here. Is that it? Is that it? I think this is it. Okay, so take a look at this right here. It says, the transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation, or the fact of being passed on in this way. Facts being passed on in this way. It is the transmission of customs and beliefs. Customs and beliefs. Customs and beliefs. Transitions are customs and beliefs. Y'all saw that. Customs and beliefs. So what happens is, when you put this thing into order, it begins to happen without you trying, because it becomes a consistent. That's what the hand itching thing means. All of that becomes a consistent. So you take these customs, it says customs and belief, they go from generation to generation. What do we talk about? We're talking about how to attract. So you teach your son, you teach your daughter. It's really interesting to me, the embarrassment of being able to sit down and tell your daughter or your son, listen, I need you to pray. And I'll tell you a story about this. So anyway, I want to go to Bora Bora, and I priced out Bora Bora. And now, understand something. Some things are your choice not to do them. Okay? Some things are your choice not to do them. All the things that you don't do are not sacrifices. Some things are the choice you've chosen not to do this thing. To go to Bora Bora, just to go, to get there, is almost $6,000 just for the flight. To get the room that you want is another $5,000. So you're paying $11,000 for a week in Bora Bora, which is in the French Peninsula. I told my wife, I said, we are flying enough, because I do a lot of flying. We're flying enough. Why don't we get the points necessary to get the airline ticket? Okay, so I look up the airline ticket. When I look up the airline ticket is, the points for the airline is 160,000 points per person for just the flight. And if we get that many points, that's just a flight. Now, we've been flying for the last however many times, and we're just barely over 50,000. So that means we need 100,000 more. Now, we've been flying every year, and we're just over 50,000. That's a lot of flying to do. So we just come back from New Orleans. Now, I said this to my wife. Listen, I did not pray it. Please hear me. I did not go, Father, in the name of... I just said, hey, I want to go to Bora Bora. Now, when we get on the plane on the way back from New Orleans, they come down the aisle and they say, hey, if you want to earn 60,000 points, you can do this. It's a new program we have. It's a new program we have. And this new, are y'all listening to me? It's a new program we have. Meet me over on YouTube. You can see the stuff they did me. It's a new program, and I'll show y'all what. They gave us this. Y'all see that? You can't see it well. They gave us this. I'm telling you, I'm looking at it. It says 60,000 points. My wife is asleep. I'm sitting there going, this is crazy. Now, we're talking, I told her this 3 days ago before we leave for New Orleans. While we on the, they said it's a new program. We got a brand new program. Listen, you guys, you can start traditions and movement that cause organic access. So when they showed me this, I need y'all to hear me very closely. When they showed me this, there was no doubt whatever the requirements were for this, I was going to get it. Why? Because I just talked about it before. I just talked about it. Now, like I said, there's some other ingredients I can go to. I just said something about it. So when my wife gets up and I said, listen, I'm about to get 60,000 points. I didn't tell her. I didn't know what it was. It could have been a credit card. It could have been whatever it was. I was going to get the 60,000 points, which would have taken me to 100 and whatever thousand points, which means I need 28 more thousand points. Guys, there is an area that you can tap into, and if you tap into this thing, you are drawing to you what you want. Now, let me go back to what I'm saying. Sacrifices are not what it's all about. It's making a decision that I'm going to allow this to take place in my life. That is my prayer. I allow this to take place in my life. Now, here's the challenge. The challenge that's going to happen is it's going to bombard you with all these ideas and thought processes and things that you can do to get to the promise or the financial position or start the business or get the husband or get the wife. It's going to bombard you with all these opportunities. When I told you that you need to write stuff down, that's what I was trying to say. That's why I got notebooks all over the place, because all of this stuff happened here. Why church doesn't work. What are the conflicts of church? Then he gave me another thing, the three principles that cause wealth to come into your life. He gives me this stuff because now my mind is free enough to hear in the spirit. But your mind does not have the capabilities to hold all the information. Every great person you know, ask them. They either have a notebook or they have something where they keep all the information. So when I start saying, listen, this is what needs to happen, and I'm going, hey guys, meet me on YouTube. It was a design by God. Why? Because I needed to show you guys stuff. And I got past the limitations of Instagram. I use Instagram because Instagram gives us access to certain people. But if you really want to get the game going, you come over to YouTube with us. Why? Because I can show you things I can't show you with Instagram. I can show you the actual contracts and the things that you do and how you pray. And I can't show you that stuff with Instagram. I have another camera. I can show you what I'm writing. But you have to get to the point. Let me see if I got this thing here. I normally do have it. Let me see if I got this thing here. I don't have it up here today. Let me see. There it is. Okay. All right. So check this out. I'm going to go down this road. Let me see if this will work. Let's hope this works. Okay. So check this out. Now, over here, you are seeing the three systems that I talk about. When you free this system here, this system right here will manifest at a level that will change your life. Now, it is not manifesting things. That's why I told people I have a challenge with the word manifesting things, because people are going, you need to learn how to manifest. I don't manifest. I serve no I keep saying this. Hear me. I serve notice to the environment. I serve notice to the environment. I spiritually serve notice to the environment. Why? Because if I'm in position, those things happen. If I'm in position, those things happen. I don't have to go through a long drawn out prayer, bow my knees and all that kind of stuff. And that's fine. That's fine. To whom much is given, much is required. The lowest level of spirituality is religion. So if you're going through the traditions of religion, that's the lowest level of spirituality. But it does not mean you're not going to get answers. What it means is it's going to take more for you to get answers at this level. The second level of spirituality is Christianity. Christianity is the same thing. The difference in Christianity is you don't take responsibility for your movement. I apologize. Christians don't take responsibility for their movement. Christians are, when you're in Christianity, you're between religion and spirituality. In this place, you go, God's still working on me. That's a Christian statement. That's not a spiritual statement. That's a Christian Christ-like statement, because Christ was the trials of being spirituality. Christ represents the trials of spirituality. This is why I'm doing this on YouTube, so you can look it over. So everything that you go through traditionally and trial-wise, that's why Christ-like is there. So you can say, I'm Christ-like, which means I'm going through stuff, I'm handling stuff, I'm battling stuff. That's the trial of becoming a Christian. Are you following me? I apologize, guys. That's what's happening. My mic is way over there. That's the trials of becoming a Christian. But spirituality, there is no trial to becoming spiritual. You are spiritual, born, bred, and raised spiritual. You follow me? So when you build a tradition, Our tradition in the house is get what you want. Whatever you have to do to alter to get what you want, that's what you do. So the key becomes understanding that when I am moving, I'm moving according to my tradition, the thing I'm going to pass down. So when I get home and I tell my wife, she wakes up and I say, hey, they are offering 60,000 points. My wife says, okay, let me read it. She reads it. She goes, you got to do this, 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 this. I said, sweetie, I don't care what you have to do. The mere organic growth of what I said I wanted, and then it shows up 2 or 3 days before I finish talking about it, means I'm going to get whatever. She goes through the process. She goes, baby, you got the 60,000 points. Of course I did. There are those of you right now that want to go to the next level. There are those of you right now want to get funding and all these kind of things. So when I start teaching you about this stuff over here, I'm not teaching you this stuff because it makes me look impressive. I'm not teaching you stuff because I like being the center of attention. I'm teaching you this stuff because this stuff will change your life. When I have a day to deal with spiritual, a day to deal with the mind, and a day to deal with the body, and I can get you to transition out of this immature Christian walk that you're going through, because it's immature, because that's how we need you to be. Leaders need you to be immature so I can represent maturity. So the trials that you go through, traditions, trials, and transition. The trials that you go through mean that you are Christ-like. You are a Christian. And so what happens is, as a Christian, you still deal with the fact that he got on my nerves. I like him. I don't like him. You are occupying your mind with junk that has nothing to do with your spiritual growth. So you dislike people. I ain't dealing with that person. You don't leave your openness to what God can do in your life. You're afraid to say Jesus. You're afraid to say God. You're afraid to say church. Why? Because those are the things that are your hot buttons. You watch movies and they say Jesus one time and it's a Jesus movie. It's not a Jesus movie because they say the word Jesus. Why? Because the scripture said no man can say the name of Jesus. Anybody can say Jesus. It's not talking about the utterance of Christ. It's talking about the Spirit of Christ. Am I making sense, guys? I hope I'm making sense. Am I making sense? What time is it? We're doing good. It's 10:30. So when you get to the point of understanding the real movement, then you understand that your life is designed by your spirit. Now, let's go back to what I was saying. So, what changed you? So, you were born a spirit. And when you were born a spirit, something changed you from going from a spiritual person to a carnal person. And for those of you that I don't want to sound too spiritual, to being part of your described reality. Your reality or your defined reality. And let me take this a little deeper. I need you to listen to me. Let me take this a little deeper, okay? So here's the deeper part. I want you to check this out. Okay, I want you guys to look at my camera right now. I want you to look at my camera. Now let me see all the way on this side. I can only go this far, so you only see this far of the camera. That's as far as you see, and on the side that's as far as you see on the camera, and right there that's as high as you see on the camera, and of course that's as low as you see on the camera. Okay, right now this is your life. Your life is the screen that you live in. Okay, that's your life. The challenge that happens is you're so busy concentrating on the screen of your life, you never see what's outside of your life. For example, outside of my life is this camera. You didn't see the camera because you can only see what's inside the screen. Got it? So when I bring the camera in, you're looking like, wow, did you manifest the camera, or did you simply reach outside of yourself and bring the camera into your screen? Did you reach and pull the camera into your screen? You follow me? Here is what's happening with your life right now. Everything you have need of is outside of the box that you live in. Everything you have need of is outside of the box that you live in. So here is the deal. If you want something, you have to step outside of the box. And you have to reach for what's outside of the box. The Bible says this. You have everything pertaining to life and godliness. It's been given to you. So that means that there are three situations that you're dealing with. And I understand something. The world is a triune movement. The world is a triune system. Everything is threefold. Everything. Now, if you're into numerology, everything is threefold. There's a beginning of a thing, there's the development of a thing, and then there's the production of a thing, no matter how the situation is. So let's talk about this thing again. Let's talk about this. Oh, and let me finish that. When I got this, then I get back home, get on my computer. The airline says, hey, would you like to earn another 20,000 sky miles? Would you like to earn another 20,000 sky miles? See, here is the thing that I need you guys to understand. When you are set within a box of where you are, everything you need is within that box. The supply of what you think you want is within the externals of the box, because those things are finding their way to you. And I don't know if I have it here. It's like a magnet. I normally keep a magnet. It's all right. I don't keep it here. I don't see it on my test. It's like a magnet. So what you have to do is you've got to break the traditions of things that have held you from what belongs to you. Why? Because for all practical purposes, I have lights all around here. Because for all practical purposes, those lights darken what's outside of the screen. So what took place in your life is the traditions of your life that were supposed to give you strength and sustenance and to sustain you actually made you afraid to step in the next level. It made you afraid. So what happens is you now are fearful of your success. Why? Is the IRS going to come get me? Am I going to make the wrong decision? Am I going to do this? I'm going to do this. Everything you have has been insured. For everything you do, if you put the right things in place, you are going to be okay. Listen, there are people right now that have done illegal junk that's so illegal and they're still not in jail. They're not in jail for a number of reasons, and I'm just saying. Then there are people that did the simplest thing and they went to jail. So what I'm saying to you is you can't live your life with the belief that everything could possibly go wrong. You can't live your life with the hopes of something going wrong. You have to live your life within that. If you can get yourself to live within the spirit of your life and get beyond religion, get beyond Christianity, and get into spirituality, you attract at a different level. You attract at a different level. That is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. You attract at a different level. How do you attract at a different level? Because you access the spiritual, unlimited information that is there. I did not want to go to New Orleans. Hear me, guys. I had no desire to go to New Orleans. And I went to New Orleans because my wife was going there for a birthday and I didn't want her to travel by herself. In the process of leaving, I'm looking at Bora Bora. I like beaches. I'm just a big beach guy. I look at Bora Bora. I said, I want to go to Bora Bora. All of a sudden, I said, I want to go to Bora Bora. It organically starts something that doesn't involve me paying a tithe, doing an offering, saying a Hail Mary, doing any of those things, going talking to a priest. It does not involve any of those things. It takes me off of religion having to be led, Christianity having to feel my leading, and godliness and leading. See, Christianity, religion says you have to be led. Religion is an organized way for you to reach God. Christianity says you're a terrible person, work your soul salvation out. Godliness says you have the access to unlimited resources. There is no reason for you not to be wealthy. Now, I have to go to this and say, once you get the wealth, once you understand that it can be there, what is the structure by which that wealth is established? What do you do with the wealth? How do you structure all these things? Why? Because those structures are what keeps generational wealth happening. But wealth as a whole, you're already walking in a wealthy place. But what happens is people that don't understand spirituality, let me get my little thing back up here. People that don't understand spirituality will teach you things mentally with the hopes that they reflect unto the spirit. People that don't understand spirituality will teach you mental stuff with the hopes that it reflects in the spirit. Or they will teach you physical stuff with the hopes that it will make you feel like you're operating in the spirit. I am a spiritual person. I am a spiritual being. I've been religion for 20 some odd years. And I understand something that most of your pastors, most of the leaders, most of the preachers do not understand. And because they don't understand it, you find yourself being taught the same things. If you've been going to any religious organization for more than 10 or more than 20 years, and you're not walking in a place where you are operating like I just said, I think about it and it happens, there's something missing. You've been limited to Christianity. You've been limited to religion. You've never had access to spirituality, which is godliness, which is a godliness. There's a passage in John that says God is love, and they that love are from God. They that love are from God. So now, what do you want to be? I want to be wealthy. You are working your nails to the bone. You are working you're just working and working and working and working because you want to be wealthy. And so you're working your mind and you're working your body, working your mind, working your body. Those things are great, but you've never taken time to say, how do I work spirituality? How do I work spirituality? And I don't tell people about this because they start thinking I'm weird and they think I'm strange and all this kind of stuff. And I stopped caring. Example, friend of mine calls me up and he says, hey, Dallas, I need some money. I said, well, how much do you need? He tells me how much he needs. I said, okay, I'll get that to you in a couple of days. He said, okay, no, I said, I'll get that to you later on today. Now, I didn't go pray. I didn't go lay hands. I didn't do nothing. The next call that came through was the amount of money that he needed. The next call that came on my phone was the amount of money that he needed. They go, hey, Dallas, da-da-da-da-da. I said, really? Yeah, da-da-da. I said, okay, send me the money. They sent me the money. I sent the money to him. Then I told him, I said, do you know the moment you called me, the person that's somebody else called and sent me the amount of money they asked for, and it wasn't $50. It was $1,000. Why? Because you set your life up in a way that attracts the money. I wasn't going to talk about this tomorrow. This was going to be strictly YouTube. So tomorrow on YouTube, guys, tomorrow, let me make sure I get this thing. I'm going to do this while I'm sitting. So in the process of this whole thing, I'm watching this happen. As I'm watching this happen, I'm watching this go down. Now listen, I'm watching this go down. Let me see if I got this. Yeah, I'm watching this go down. As I'm watching this go down, no, I didn't do it over here. Yeah, I'm watching this go down. As I'm watching this happen, I'm realizing that I didn't say a specific kind of prayer. I didn't say a specific kind of anything. What I did was, is I simply said, there we go. It is here. Hold on for a second, guys. I want to show you this thing right quick. So what I did was, is I opened up my, there you go. What I did was, is I opened up my heart to the places, because see, like I said, this will take me a long time to start teaching. If I taught this like I really wanted to teach it, I would be here all day long. But what I did was, is I put myself in a position where I was able to, there we go. Okay. I put myself in a position where I was able to, got it. I put myself in a position where I was able to operate spiritually. Now, this did not happen overnight. this happened over years, but I can condense it, and because what I can condense it into that's what the spiritual retreat is all about. I can condense it so I can teach you, because it was just simple principles that I was never taught. We were never taught these principles in church. We were never taught these principles in religion. So I don't attract anybody that starts attaching to, I'm a Church of God in Christ, I'm a full gospel, I'm a this, I'm a that. They're still stuck in religion, because you identify with the dogma instead of identifying with the reason for the dogma. So I was actually going to do this. So check this out. I was actually going to do this on tomorrow. Yeah, on tomorrow. Talk about this on tomorrow. So this is what I was going to do on tomorrow. The 3 spiritual principles that attract your wealth. It's going to be on Thursday. It's going to be tomorrow on YouTube. So those of you, you'll see the flyer. That flyer right there is the flyer that will talk about that. So when I started working on that, I started realizing that there were 3 basic principles, and those 3 basic principles were the principles. Yeah, those 3 basic principles were the principles that I used in order for me to operate at this next level. What do we do now? So I said there's traditions and trials, and then transition. Your traditions you have to address. You create your traditions. You build your traditions. Your trials point towards your next level. Your trials make you strong enough to handle the traditions. You follow me? Your trials make you strong enough to handle your transition. So, because we've not been taught that. We've been taught that do hard like a good soldier. No, when those things happen to you, those things are telling you you're about to go to another level. When those things happen to you, those things tell you you're about to go to another level. And when you go to that another level, you are prepared for that level. That's what trials are. So when people start talking about you and saying junk about you, that's a trial. Get ready. When money looks crazy and it seems like, get ready. When it seems like the people around you are falling away, get ready. Why? Because you are sustained by a spiritual movement. You are not sustained by a natural, carnal, mental, physical movement. I can't stress enough. The only challenge that I have in my life is being able to address all the things that are being presented to me in my time of prayer and meditation. Being able to address all the things that I literally have to write down. I can't show you. Let's see if I can get this. I literally have been writing down stuff that is taking wealth. I have this notebook. I have this notebook. I have I can't even, dude, I can't even tell you how many notebooks I have. I have so many notebooks of what I've got so many projects going on. I got a $3 million project happening. I got a $5 million project, $300,000 project. All these projects, because when you say you want something, when you're ready to move to that level, all these things are going to be presented, because your spirit never gives you the thing, it gives you the process. Your spirit is never about the thing, it's about the process. So what has to happen to some of you is some of you are operating in your process, but you don't have an expectation to the end of your process. So what you're doing is you're operating in a blind process that has a destination. What stopped you? Something muffled your spirit. That's what stopped you. Something muffled your spirit. And when that thing muffled your spirit, you stopped hearing and feeling at the level that you used to. When you were young, you were, man, something told me. When you were young, that's how you operated. Then you got older, and all of a sudden you started looking for logic and what makes sense. Then you got older than that. Then you start looking for things that make you feel comfortable. Instead of going, I'm going to stay here. My grandson knows when things are happening. My granddaughter does. I'm looking for my keys. My grandson, he said, you know they're under the sofa, Pop-Up. I looked all over the house, all over the house. When I looked under the sofa, where were the keys? The keys under the sofa. I was looking for my wallet one time, and he said, Papa, you know your wallet? No, my granddaughter said, she said, your wallet in the car, Pop, it's in the car. How I got in the car, I'll never know. The wallet was in the car because as in the simplest of infancy, they are operating totally in the spirit. We don't know that because we're trying to infuse them or influence them to operate in a natural mentality. We're trying to get them to operate in a natural mentality. So when they operate in a natural mentality, then from that point on, they operate the way we want them to, and they shut off the natural inclination to listen to the spirit. There is no reason for you not to be wealthy. I have a friend of mine that has, he's doing a t-shirt line, and he's doing all these different lines of those things he's coming. And he has to realize, and I'm trying to get him to realize, to get out of the way of what you feel about it and just do it. I did a teaching on procrastination. I said the only reason people procrastinate is because there becomes a brain lock in their mind. It becomes a lock, a brain. Your spirit and your carnal, or your spirit and your natural, are conflicting, and there's a conflict. And in that conflict, it is causing your mind to want to do something and your spirit to want to do something. And instead of you figuring out which one is right, you just do nothing. You do nothing. You do nothing. What time is it? It's 10 minutes till. I've spent the majority of my life trying to be comfortable. When you're in religious leadership, they give you this belief that you're actually more than you actually are. Why? Because the ingredients of being who you are, those ingredients that you see, you get naturally. So I didn't have to buy my suits or buy the things that I eventually had to buy because I was taken care of. When I went places, I was appreciated. All these things happened so that I would feel like I wasn't what I really was. But then I get to the spirit and I realize that this is how God treats everybody. Not just the bishop, not just the pastor, apostle, prophet, evangelist, teacher. He treats everybody that way. But it is a graduation. So what happened to me, traditions of religion changed me. You got to figure out what changed you. Did a trial change you? Something happened. Mama died, auntie died, grandma died. Did that change you? What changed you? When you understand what changed you, then you understand how to fix what changed you. Now, those of you that are on Instagram, that's the situation. If that means something to you, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you join us on YouTube and subscribe. What changed you? If that changed you, was it a trial? Was it traditions of some type? Or was it the fear of transition? How many of you right now just take your clothes, get out of town? Get enough money, take your clothes, just get out of town and rough it. Just rough it out. What changed you? What stopped you from being the person that had hope, the person that believed that they can do anything? What stopped you from being that person that could change the world or believe they could change the world? What stopped you from that? What stopped you? Figure that out and you uproot it. You uproot that. You uproot that. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, guys. I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, to give you information. I'm actually teaching classes now. That's what I'm doing. I'm teaching you a class. That's the class that people charge you $1,000 for, or whatever they charge you for. This is the class. You should be taking notes. You should be writing things down. You should be able to operate at another level because it's a new place for you. And what I just simply want to do is see you make it. Okay? That's enough for today. That's enough for today. Let me just say this. On tomorrow, see this right here? On tomorrow, we will begin a series called 3 Spiritual Principles That Attract Your Wealth. Didn't say wealth, your wealth. 3 spiritual principles that attract your wealth. For those 3 days, I'm going to be teaching on this particular thing here. You will see this. It will be on this YouTube channel. So those of you that are on the YouTube channel, those of you that are not on, subscribe and hit the little bell icon, and it will let you know when we're starting that, at 10:30. At 10:30 every morning, not 10 o'clock, 10:30. At 10:30, we will talk about the 3 spiritual principles that attract wealth. A lot of times people believe that they believe in a lot of different ways of attracting wealth. But attracting wealth is very, very easy, but it is very, very tedious. When you attract wealth, you have to know the principles that you live on. And when you establish these principles as habits in your life, when you establish these principles as lines in your life, they happen organically. They happen without you trying to get them to happen. They happen without you having to make them happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach those 3 principles. And once those 3 principles are taught, you will begin to see a level of wealth increase. Some of you will have to make moves and make shifting, because once you learn the principles, the people around you will begin to suck from you. They'll begin to try to draw from you. But you got to get to a point that there's a constant flow happening through your life, a constant flow. Now, the other thing you're going to have to learn is the discipline of keeping it going. You're going to have to learn how to write stuff down. You have to learn how to make sure your confessions are not confessions, they're decrees. You're going to have to make sure you do all these types of things so that you can in turn watch wealth happen. Now, having business is great, but you have to realize in the spirit, it's a situation where you can have a dream about a cryptocurrency, and that dream will make that cryptocurrency grow. In the spirit, you can be in a position where you'll ask something and somebody will answer the question and you didn't say anything to it. It'll be television, be radio, be me, be something. Why? Because when you are operating in the spirit, the access to what you want to do is so great that if doors are open all over the place. People will come and say things and operate in things that will keep you. What is this? What is that? Oh, that's my thing. Okay. People, I'm sorry guys, I messed up my focus. People will offer you things to help you in that thing, so you have to live in that. So be there in those 3 days. Make sure you subscribe, like, be a part of the YouTube family, because like I said, Instagram, this is the last week for Instagram. Instagram will be a every Wednesday thing, but YouTube will be my consistency. I'll put things on the YouTube. I'm going to release some teachings that I already did. They're going to be on the YouTube channel that I'm not teaching now. I'm just going to release them and put them on the YouTube channel so that you guys can access it. I want you to learn and learn and learn and learn. Why? Once you get the spiritual part together, then we can start talking about how to turn your business in it. I believe in how structuring your business correctly. I believe in structuring something for your generational wealth. I believe in structuring something for insurance. I've learned these things over the years, but I realized that if I'm not getting these people together spiritually, it's a waste of time to tell you how to make all this money, and you end up losing all this money or going down the wrong road with the money. So that's it. I think I got a question down here. That's it. Facial tomorrow 10:30. I will be able to watch it later the day. It's my birthday. Oh, tomorrow is your birthday, Sandra. It's Sandra's birthday tomorrow, guys. Sandra, what's Sandra's? Where is Sandra's thing? What's up? What's up, Six? Let's see. Where is Sandra? Yeah, there is Sandra. Pin Sandra. Everybody see Sandra. Y'all see Sandra at the bottom of my Instagram. Her birthday's tomorrow. Make sure you wish her a happy birthday. So go into her link. It's Sandra, and wish her a happy birthday. Y'all make sure y'all do that. Everybody, make sure you wish her a happy birthday. It's on my Instagram link. It's right now on the bottom on Instagram. I think it's Sandra. It's COGNEETOW. and wish her a happy birthday. She's a nice person. She's a nice person. So that's it. That's all we have, guys. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. I will see you on tomorrow. And remember, you have to get the spirit of your mind. That's our job. Get the spirit of your mind right. I'm William Dallas. This is the Higher Standards Chronicles. And I appreciate you guys. I really, really do, because y'all off the chain. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.